The Steelers promoted David Morehouse, a former Pittsburgh Penguins executive that actually helped them land the deal at PPG Paints Arena, to executive vice president of strategy after joining the team last year as just a senior advisor. So his role will be, quote unquote, strategic direction of Acrisure Stadium and operations. On top of that, I believe it's like over a $1 million, $100 million, operation to get out the troughs, put some urinals in the restrooms. We talked about that last time. Steven loves the conversations in the restroom at halftime. It is what it is. You look at all this, you start thinking, okay, the lease is up at 2030. Maybe the Steelers look at a new home. Maybe they leave the North Shore. It just seems that all these dots are connecting, Do you look at this and think, oh, man, maybe the Steelers are get a new home? Or do you just think, Acrisure Stadium is about to be the next Jerry World and things are about to bump out over on the North Shore?
I don't think so. I like this setup they have now. Acrisure Stadium, I feel like, is a nice spot. It's in the city. I feel like there's plenty of room for everything that Steelers fans need. I like the setup they have there. I think it's not very likely that they end up moving the stadium. I think it's more likely that they are fishing for a renovation. And this is all like, this is just kind of a setup over the next few years. There's going to be not a fight, but conversations with the county, who I think owns the stadium technically. Like the Steelers just lease it from them. But there's going to be haggling over, okay, how much is the county going to pay for renovations and stuff like that? What kind of tax breaks will they get? That seems more likely to me than a complete relocation. Because I don't know, like moving out to Cranberry or the suburbs, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I feel like that would not actually really benefit anyone, quite honestly.
No, you'd be getting a lot of upset Steelers fans. On top of that, like you talk about moving in town, the biggest problem with the Penguins is that it is impossible to do anything before a Penguins game. Like your options are go to 3 bars right on that block or just go straight into the arena. There's no tailgates. It's perfectly set up. Sometimes you run into a little incident where the Pirates and the Steelers are playing, but even then it still works out for everybody. It's the perfect location. I will say this though. You just mentioned, the county's going to have to, and the Steelers do. They lease that property, and that lease is up in 2030. But I expect that to renew. Art Rooney came out and said that he expects that to renew. These are some numbers on the last two teams that, upgraded their stadiums, that put their original stadium or their last stadium up when the Steelers did, right around that 2000 mark. The Titans paid $2.1 billion and the Browns paid $1 billion for just a renovation. So you're probably looking at the same for the Steelers. I don't know what that does. I don't really think that it does anything crazy for any of us. But what do you think? You look at a new stadium. What do you even do? Like, do you put a dome in there? Do you change anything at all? Like, are the Steelers just? It's Heinz Field. Like, I feel like the classic look is just, that's just part of what it is.
Yeah, yellow seats on the North Shore. Yeah, I don't really know what So I do know that Heinz or Acrisure is generally considered one of the worst, not the worst, but it is one of the older NFL stadiums out there. It hasn't been renovated, I think, since it's been built.
Since its opening.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the same. I don't know what specifically you'd have to upgrade. I've been there as a fan and and to work a bunch of times, and it seemed fine to me.
Nobody's freaking out over Acrisure Stadium. Do you think they put a dome in there? You think you put a roof in there?
No.
You
can't put a dome.
I'm 100% for a roof in Acrisure Stadium. 100%. Been about a roof in Acrisure Stadium. I just think it opens up so many possibilities. You could have a Super Bowl here. You could bring a Super Bowl to Pittsburgh. You're telling me you don't want a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh? Because Art Rooney wants a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh. The city of Pittsburgh wants a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh. You want a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh, you put a roof on that stadium.
Yeah, but then I feel like you're betraying a little bit of the personality of the city. And,
retractable roof. Retractable roof. Open that bad boy right up.
I'm
freezing cold.
Well, yeah, but that's like, that's AFC North football, man. That's Pittsburgh. Like, come on, show a little grit. What are
Can't be a
we?
hot kitchen if it's freezing cold outside. Just
Can't be a
can't.
what?
A
Could
hot
be a
kitchen.
hot
Mike
kitchen.
Tomlin, AFC North hot kitchen. Can't be a hot
Mm-mm.
kitchen if it's freezing cold outside. I get what you're saying. I agree with it. Like, and are they going to put a roof on there? Probably not. I think if I'm sitting in that negotiation table and we're, in a board meeting and Art Rooney's sitting there and the guy from the CEO of Acrisure Stadium or whoever's sitting there and David Morehouse is sitting there, I'm just thinking, maybe I toss it out there. Maybe I just go, well, you know
Mhm.
what would be great for tourism and for the city and to develop new fans. And you want to know what would be awesome if we made it happen in the next 4 years and somehow we ended up in a Super Bowl? To play that Super Bowl in the city of Pittsburgh. I just, and like it's not like the NFL would be all about it. They would not be like, they love going to LA, they love going to Tampa, all these cool places. If you were like, hey, the city of Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to host a Super Bowl, fans would lose their minds. The league would lose their mind. It would work out so well. And I get it, it's not going to happen, but like, that like there are few stadiums, there are few places in the NFL that hold as much ground as Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And the league would they would be drooling over an opportunity to host a Super Bowl here.
Yeah, there's certainly some history, and like this is just a football city in a way that
Yeah.
like LA and Miami, like they're great stadiums, and I'm sure they're great places for people to spend Super Bowl weekend, but they do not kind of have that passion behind football as a city like Pittsburgh does, and a
No.
region like Western Pennsylvania does.
Nope.
So that's certainly a draw, but I don't know. It just seems like every time, like it seems like that's what the Titans were trying to gun for. You're like,
Yeah,
did they
but
really need a new stadium? I think they
no.
just wanted to host a Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
then
Maybe Steelers next. There it's not. Like we both know that it's just going to be like some
yeah,
fancy ketchup bottles and some new seats and
right.
you know,
There'll be
maybe
new
some new
luxury
grass.
boxes. There'll be new
Yeah, yeah,
luxury
yeah, yeah,
boxes or
yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah.
it's
Let me tell you, the luxury boxes. I sneak my way into there sometimes. Use the restroom after a game. They're pretty nice. They're nice as is. I got no complaints for those luxury
mm,
boxes. But yeah, I agree. At this, think that it's just gonna be it's just gonna be cool. Like new stadium, awesome. But if I'm a Steelers fan, I'm starting to get that in my head because I think in the next 5 years, maybe Heinz Field takes one massive upgrade, and it'll be cool. Like that'll be very exciting for all Steelers fans.